Okay, so my name's Alex Rawlings. I run a recruitment firm, executive search firm called Raw Selection. So I'm not here to pitch the usual recruitment crap about hire fast, hire quickly, use recruitment businesses. This is really, I've tried to create something that it will allow you to engage and actually create something to go away. Because I appreciate a lot of speaking in the front of people. You'll kind of come away and then you've got all that business to do. You've lost an hour of your time and therefore you've fall straight into that rather than trying to implement something. So this is more so about implementation. There's a quote, I suppose it's not, but only hire talent you're prepared to fire. That sounds really rough, but I will talk to you about why I say that and how important that is for businesses, especially early stage companies. To give you a bit of background, so we specialize in working with venture capital, private equity and portfolio companies. So I'm used to hiring for startup businesses, pre-revenue, right through to Series A, Series B, if you know the investment world, through to 30, 50, 100, 200 million UK, USD businesses. So I appreciate the situation we're in, and we're only an early stage business ourselves as well. So the first thing to do is, if you want to get involved in this right now, you can absolutely do it. This is basically how to choose if you're an early stage business or you've got hires right now and you're not sure, but you want to hire, you need to grow your business. If you get a piece of A4, split it in two places, and the first part you want it to work on is actually what you actually enjoy doing in your business. So write down everything on that side of the sheet, which is obviously on my right hand side, your left, is about what you actually love to do in your business. Okay, so the things that you wake up every morning and do first in the morning, and then the stuff that you do at the end is the stuff that you hate. Okay, and this is where you build your hiring. So if anyone's not hired anybody yet, or it has one or two people, this is what I was doing in order to create how you build your business, and it's absolutely an absolute godsender. I've spoken to somebody in the hub already who was talking about hiring somebody here, and this is where everybody talks about, I'm going to hire somebody here because this is what I enjoy and this is what I love, so therefore I'll just get someone who's exactly the same as me. But realistically, what you want to do is get rid of the stuff that you don't like in your business. And a great question I was asked by one of my mentors in America was, if you were to give a percentage to yourself to how much you enjoy what you do, if that percentage is below 50%, do this exercise. If it is not 100%, do this exercise. And this will help you get to the high percentages. But most people I speak to, especially founders, growing businesses, tend to be everything's you're doing everything on here, and you've got nothing on this side with regards to building into the hate side. So just put data, admin, anything you don't like, entrepreneurs that don't like selling, whatever it is, get it on that side of your page, and then just literally, very simply, hire here. So if you put that together, you can make your hiring list really simple. So when I put that together, I have all my data and admin. I don't do any data, well, very little data and admin. I offshore that into India and Pakistan. I realized that I'm not the strongest of salespeople. I'm not a natural relationship builder. I just like to go in, speak to a client, and just literally do the business, so to speak, and make the sale. So I hired somebody who's a natural born salesperson who loves building relationships, who loves talking to clients about their kids, their family, and all the rest of the stuff that I just have no interest in. And therefore, it sounds nasty, but it's just me being really honest with myself. I don't care. I just want to find a candidate and place the job. And he wanted to do that. So we hired somebody in that space. And it's just about building that picture for you. So the next thing that you've done, you've decided what you want to do, you've decided it's an admin role, you've decided it's a sales role, an operations role. The next thing that you want to be looking at then is what this person will be doing and what will success look like. The first point I'd look at is this side of the page. Okay, so again, split your page in two and start with what does success look like. Because the big difficulty is everyone starts on here and they make a really nice list. They then post that list, and I'll come to where you can post that later, post that list on Indeed or post it out somewhere else, and it's a really boring read. I want you to input data into our system. If we actually look at what does success look like, so for us, was hiring that salesperson, what we want to do is get that person to 300,000 in revenue. For them, that will mean that they'll earn about 95 to 100,000 pounds for themselves. And this would mean that we win X amount of clients, win X amount of business, then get to go to America. So it's all about thinking, what does success look like for the business? What does success look like for that person? And if you put all of that together, you can then decide what they'll be doing in order to hit that success. So it's really important that we start here, don't start here, because this will just decide what this person will be doing. And it may be that if you start here, you end up with a different success parameters. So start with the end in mind, go with the success, and get really clear on your role. And it doesn't matter what position, it doesn't have to be sales in order for them to have success. Think about what a data person, what an operation person, what will success look like, what problem will they solve in your business, and therefore you can give them really clear direction on what exactly you want them to do. So once you've done that, there's then the horrible task, which we have every single day, of then going and using all these mediums and everything else that we can find in order to source A players. Now this isn't going to be a big sell here, just phone me and we'll sort it out for you. This can be done yourselves, okay? There is paths. This whole recruitment process can be done by yourself. It's just how you measure your time and whether you want to spend your time hiring using all these different platforms. If I was to suggest to anybody to do anything, if they just wanted to choose one of these, then I would post on here because it's absolutely free. Write a job advert out of exactly what you want to do, get really clear on what the success will look like, position what the job position will be, post the job on Indeed, and therefore you will get some level of application. I can't promise that any of those people will be good. We post every single job we've got on Indeed, and we yet to make a placement out of it, but it will potentially work. We do a lot of international stuff and global stuff, so it does harm us a little bit. But if you're thinking local, the job's not really complex. It's not a particularly high skill set, like, I don't know, rocket scientist or whatever else. It can mean that you can do it. Facebook's a great tool, and linked very closely with the Facebook groups. There's so many active people on. I mean, the one that I use for finding plumbers and plasterers is Harrogate Grumbler. I don't know if there's an equivalent in Leeds, which is basically where people go on and moan most of the time, and then somebody puts a post on there and says, does anybody have any help with regards to a plumber? And then suddenly you end up with 2 plumbers, and a guy came in and sorted me out on Sunday because I had a leaky shower. But posting jobs on there. I know loads of people that post local jobs and get really good success from that. So that's a really good idea. Not a lot of people know about this, but there is, which is counterproductive, but there is the government website. You can post jobs on there, and you will have some kind of platform online. I'm going to guess that not many people use it because not many people, therefore you won't get many applicants, but it is a potential option. I wouldn't be in recruitment if I didn't mention something about LinkedIn. So going on there, make an article post, posting jobs out there, and then post. When you do any posts, like even on Facebook, especially on LinkedIn, copy your whole team in there, copy your friends in there, copy your family in there, and if you just put the @ in their name, and it will pop up after a frustrating period. And getting those people onto there, it broadens your network. And if you can get anybody to comment on it as well, I'm not an expert with regards to social media algorithms, but the more people that comment on, I think it's within the first 24 hours, the more chance that post is coming at the top of someone else's feed, and therefore getting activity. This under script icon is your network. Hire from people you know, hire from people that have worked for you in the past. I've literally just made a hire of someone, and I was sat down with one of my consultants and I said, I've absolutely wasted every single one per people in my network. We can't find anyone in my network. I'm going to have to go to, believe it or not, there's a recruitment company that recruits for recruiters. Where that will stop, I don't know. But and then I shot a load of messages out on LinkedIn, and the guy that trained me in recruitment came back and said, yeah, I'd be really interested in speaking to you, and I've just hired him. So it really is, and the guy took about 10 minutes over just having a go at me for the fact that I shouldn't have done that in the first place. But your network is really important for you, and if it's connections on LinkedIn, Facebook, friends, or whatever you call it on Facebook, any of your other social media platforms, people that you meet with, whatever it is, then absolutely use that network and fire through it. Post every single place that you get to where you're hiring. Post it on all your Facebook posts, LinkedIn, social media, Instagram, whatever else there is out there. Have signs if you've got a retail shop on the side of it. Have a jobs page if you can for people coming in. There's a ton of different websites that you can use. Indeed's in there again. Gumtree posts free jobs. All the platforms, YouTube as well. And then the Raw Selection emblem is there to represent agencies. If you're going to go and look for 8 recruitment businesses, executive search, whatever it is that you're looking for, work with businesses that specialize in your sector and work within your space. Okay, so if you're looking for a data administrator and you come to Raw Selection, we're not the right business to work with you to find that person. You want to find somebody that literally knows and has a real big plethora of contacts within that space. You'll find that out very quickly by asking them questions, and if they give you really fluff answers with regards to their network, the numbers, the people they've placed in local businesses, you'll very quickly know that they're just trying to get a fee out of you and they're not the right business. But if anybody wants to talk to me about selecting recruitment businesses, please come and speak to me. I'm not going to sell to you. We do all senior executive placements, so I'm not going to sit there and take down a job brief and sting you with a fee. I'll just point you in the right direction of the right people that can absolutely help you. The idea would be use them all and you'll get a really good network of contacts, but I appreciate you've also got businesses to run. So if you're going to choose anything, go with Indeed and absolutely use that. And most people I think in here will use social media, so at least plaster it all over it, and you will get contacts from there. The next thing is about interviewing and selecting profiles. So this is where I see so many people absolutely, or so many businesses absolutely get this wrong. First thing you'll want to hire is a person who's exactly the same as you. Now if you go to hire somebody who's exactly the same as you will get exactly the same skill set and you'll both spend all day arguing. Right, I know this because I went through it at my last business. I hired people who I thought were real, get em and goes guys, and they turned up late, they loved alcohol, and whatever else that they did on an evening that's meant that they turned up to work at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock the following day, or not at all. Not that that's me, but you get the kind of point. So it's all about create a really strong interview process and have it all documented. I've got a big Word document that means I've got all the emails I send to everybody out, and it's all literally a step-by-step process. But I know if somebody's going to be right for the business or they're going to be wrong for the business. First thing that everyone wants to do is to go out and meet with these people. Absolutely don't waste your time in face-to-face interviewing anybody until you've phone interviewed them. Okay? Really, really clear message. It's really, entrepreneurs seem to love, business owners seem to love going out and meeting with people, but literally you'll just waste your time. Get straight on the phone with these people. Discuss with them about the position that you've got to offer based on the previous slide. Get stuck straight into their experience and go through all of that, cultural, personality, are you guys going to get on, are you going to fight? And then I always set them a task on the first process. My first task is for them to watch 2 videos. One of them is by Gary Vaynerchuk, the other one is by Grant Cardone. And then I ask them to send me an email afterwards for them to follow up on it. If I don't get that email, I never speak to that person, and I will never chase that person up. And the reason I do that is because every single person where I've got excited, I've set them a task, they've not followed up on it, I've chased them on email and then they've followed up on it. That's exactly the kind of person that you're going to bring into your business, and you set them a task and you have to follow up on it, and then you have to follow up with them again, and you have to follow up with them again, and then you end up having to sack them and they've wasted money. Okay? So that's just a really simple first task. If they're really interested in the job, you'll get an email usually within, I got a Facebook message from one of my guys within about 5 minutes of leaving him. I don't even know why he messaged me on Facebook, he wasn't even connected, but that was his way of getting straight in touch. But send them that task. It doesn't have to be go watch a video. It could be, if you're a marketing business, go have a look at different pieces of content and tell me what you do here. If you're I can't think of a marquee business idea, but how would you build this marquee? Who knows? How would you sell this marquee to potential new businesses? Whatever it is that you're looking to do, make it really simple task. If it's really complex, it'll make it really difficult for you to hire the right person. But mine's literally watch 2 videos and send me the feedback on it, and then go from there. Once you've done that, arrange another phone interview. Really conscious of your time. Discuss the task, discuss what they went through with it, and then if you're happy, go over any other questions, write down your reservations before it. Now arrange to meet them. It seems like this is a really long process. It's just 2 phone calls, okay? That's probably going to be half an hour. That's probably going to be 15, 20 minutes. When you do this, you're looking at an hour to 2 hours, especially when I meet people, because I love talking. An hour to 2 hours. So I'm just saying to myself, okay, an hour and 15 minutes or whatever the difference would be there. You then go more into their experience, get more into their skills. Attitude is the biggest area. You cannot teach attitude, okay? I'm going to guess that we're all here because we all work hard I'm going to guess that we're all here because we don't start work at 9 o'clock and finish at 4, and we all work after that and we do whatever else. You're not looking to hire exactly the same person as you. You're looking for somebody who's got the right attitude, the right motivation, that you can get along with and work with and can buy into your business, your brand, and then take it forward. Attitude is the most important part when making hires. If the attitude is wrong and all the experience is right, they will come into your business, you'll pay them for 3 to 6 months, you'll exit them, and you'll waste that money. Okay? I know I'm really cut on this, but I've literally hired people, given all my hope, all my time, everything into, fortunately not with this business, but definitely with my previous employed business. And luckily I did it on his paycheck rather than mine. And it's been a real draw of my whole resources, time. You know, I wanted to quit management, I was sick of it. So I was just bringing people in and was just taking the piss. So if you get the right attitude, and then personality is that kind of cultural, everything talks about. Can you go for a beer with this person, wine, you know, juice or whatever it is that Vicky calls it, pop, to go for a drink with them. And then that's that kind of, can you get on with this person? And I'm pretty sure we'll all be pretty good at judging that. The next step, if you have a team, is get them to meet it. This is more so that you've decided that this person's probably going to be right, and your team will love to have the opportunity to meet with somebody and have a discussion. Make it a safe environment. I have had people in my teams before start really getting stuck into the interviewing process. So I just basically said to them, look, this isn't an interview process for you to discuss with them, just literally have a conversation with them. Do you have similar interests? You know, does it, if they unearth something you do? It's more so just to include your team here. Make them feel special, they'll get buy-in, especially in small businesses. As soon as somebody new walks in through the door, there's not the peacocking kind of environment. Everyone's coming in and you've met with each other. I always tip, this process always happens when we go out for a meal. So we'll go out for a meal and in a really relaxed environment, and I'll probably disappear for 10 minutes and just be on the phone or something, and let them have a bit of a discussion, a bit of a chat. And then if you decide that you want to go with it, I would do this always in a meeting, but I mostly would do it face to face, and I just go through offering the job, acceptance, getting really prepared for them starting. And something I did forget to would have probably put in here, maybe in the meet the team, is the expectations piece. Make really clear expectations to what you want them to do. Give them really clear indication on the hours they'll work. Give them really clear indication on the extra hours that they'll work, on what the pay will be, and have a really open discussion regarding what you expect and what they're going to do, because it will make it really clear. You don't want to scare people off, whatever else. You don't want to pay somebody to come into your business who's going to turn around to you and go, this isn't what you told me it was going to be, because you didn't set really clear expectations. So all my guys know exactly what the environment's going to be, they know exactly what time they're going to get in, they know exactly what time they're going to leave. And I have this, as I said, I have this all on a document. I've got all the emails, follow-ups, everything that I just use as templates, and therefore hiring is really easy. And the thing that takes my time is just the phone interviews, face-to-face meetings, rather than back-end stuff.
I think, obviously, I'm a very small agency myself, but I feel sometimes it is not frightening, but when you do look at hiring someone full-time and then thinking, actually, no, it's the wrong decision, you're 3-4 months down the line, is it a matter of fact of just saying to that person, no, it's a wrong decision, like you're sacked, or can you just let them go like that, or
yeah,
is there stuff that you need to be careful of before you end up getting sued, or is all sorts of, do you know?
Great question. So basically, within their first, depending on what your notice period you give them, within their first 23 months, so before they go to 24, I'm not an employment lawyer, I can't give employment law advice, I should say that. But from the information that I've been shared, employment lawyers, you've got basically 2 years where you can exit that person without going through a disciplinary procedure, unless your contract says differently within their employment law. But general speaking, within 2 years, you can get rid of somebody and you can literally give them no reason whatsoever. After 2 years, so if you give them notice on 23 months and 1 day, and their notice period is a month, they fall into 2 years, and you must have gone through a disciplinary exit procedure in order to get rid of them. But if you're going to make decisions to hire people, and you're questioning them, I will say get rid of people fast. But that's your time scale you've got to exit somebody. And if they went to an employment lawyer, you'd have had to have done something, immoral, illegal, or something on that basis that you've got rid of them. So I had a client who's a big private equity firm who just rejected a candidate because he's old, he's 43 years old. He just sent him an email saying, you're too old to come and join our firm. Bear in mind, this guy's 64, who's rejected him, and sent it to him on an email. And the candidate rings me up and goes, well, you could have a lovely payday and suing that business. So that would be the only reason in the first 23 months, and get that, it's not 2 years, it's 23 months, that you would enter into problems. But yeah, absolutely, exit somebody within the first 23 months. They can kick and scream as much as they can. And the way that I look at exiting people, which brings us nicely onto here, is everyone knows who Alan Sugar is, or should do. Only hire talent you can fire. So that sounds really harsh, really difficult, yeah, real pain. But this, you will do a lot of this if you hire family, friends, really close contacts, people you love, people you cherish, and you'll never get to this stage, and you will end up not being, well, you can't get rid of your family, but you can definitely get rid of your friends. They will fall out with them, they will let you down. You cannot, it's very difficult to hire people that you've got in your family and that are your friends. Now there's going to be exceptions to the rule, where you've hired somebody in a really close family and they've done an absolutely great job. Of course there is, but 9 times out of 10 it works out bad. Unless, and I literally say this to people when I'm going through the hire, we're not hiring anyone unless I'm prepared to fire them, because they're going to come into your business and they're not going to perform. You need to exit these people and let them go within the first 23 months of employment. And if you could get that down to the first 4 to 6 weeks, and I know I sound harsh here, okay, and I'm getting this on video, it's going to go on my YouTube and go to my clients as well, but literally, it sounds harsh, but it is just true. If these people aren't going to work out, you're not going to spend your time nurturing, developing, and changing these people. There's 2 aspects that you're going to, if this person is purely down to an attitude basis, to a work ethic, turning up to work, putting it all in, do that immediately, because you cannot change somebody's work ethic. I never changed anybody's work ethic to what you do, and it will always sit in your mind. They'll be late and you'll want to fire them and you'll kick off. If it's purely down, they're putting absolutely everything in here, okay, and they're doing everything they can, this is the people you want to develop, you want to upskill, you want to move forward. The only exception to that is if they haven't got the EQ, intelligence, in order to develop that. I know this sounds really hard hitting. I know I sound like a complete asshole, okay, when I discuss this, but you will save yourself a lot of time, a lot of pain by literally making decisions quickly on people. And I can make a decision now within people in the business, ideally within the first 2 weeks, but literally I'll make a call in the first 4 weeks, whether that person is going to stay with the organisation or leave. And so far, every single person I've hired within Raw Selection is still within the business and is doing a really good job. So it's that selection process beforehand, but if you get that selection process wrong, which you will, and it's natural, I've been through it. God, I've hired and fired more people at my employed business than I think bloody Alan Sugar's done on The Apprentice. You've just got to get what's right for you, hire based on your personality, hire based on your company culture, and if you get really clear on that, then it's going to be really easy for you to get the right people. I'm happy to discuss with anybody afterwards with regards to trying to find that out and what's going to work. And that's going to nicely, the question tab's gone, but...
I was going to say thank you, really, really good comments about, don't hire anybody you're not prepared to fire. But the other thing as well is that we had an experience, we hired somebody very senior, and they basically didn't turn out to be the person we hired. Technically they were brilliant, they interviewed brilliantly, and they were really disruptive in the organisation. So we ended up not only getting rid of them, we had to get rid of another 6 people because of it.
Nightmare. So, is that a statement? Are you wanting me to answer a question on that basis?
No, I'm just saying it's just that sometimes it's not just the one person you've got to consider, you've got to consider their effects that they can have on your whole team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, that comes down to you bring somebody on, you give them the opportunity. If you can get your hiring and firing process down, I appreciate it's difficult with senior execs, and a lot of the senior executives that we replace, they usually give them about 6 months, to which then they've probably already destroyed the team that you're managing and probably already destroyed that part of the business. And you're only doing it because your profit's gone below a certain level, and either a shareholder or a private equity venture capital firm is starting to get hacked off, and therefore you need to point the finger at someone. But again, it comes down to going through that interview process, getting them to meet the team, leave them alone with the team, one of you guys that you really trust, within that team, maybe give them a bit of a brief to maybe get a little bit under the skin of the guy potentially. But again, it's just you are going to make mistakes. But as soon as you feel that it is a mistake, review it. I've got a great tool which I can talk to anyone afterwards called IceHop, which will go through it and get rid of that person fast. And I would going to guess that in that process, you probably would have had that person that you wanted to get rid of earlier. You just felt that you didn't want to make that mistake yourself. I don't want to hire on because I'm the boss and I should hire the right people. And therefore, as much as we don't like to admit it, but our ego takes over and we try and make that person right. Whereas what we should be doing is going, okay, this person's wrong, I've made a mistake, never mind. Let's get someone else in the business. But it's hard. Any other questions?
Going back to choosing who you want to hire as far as what tasks you want them to do, whether a salesperson or an admin or all these different jobs that you do yourself currently. I've done it where I've taken someone on and I want someone to do sales for a few hours, I want someone to do something else for it. So I've taken this and they haven't worked out because the job is just not clear enough. And I don't have the capacity to have a full-time salesperson and a full-time admin person. Have you any suggestions as to how you can try and tackle that, other than getting a load of different part-time?
You could go part-time route. What I would say is, depending on the complexity of the admin that you want to do, and even if it is really complex stuff, I'd advise to anybody to offshore. So there's loads of websites. I always recommend one because it's really simple, Fiverr. You can go on there and you can create, I could literally talk all day about this, but all my administration is offshore. So all my data entry, data management, we format loads of CVs, we do all of that offshore. And that costs me about £140 a month for a guy to work 7 days a week, between 8 and 10 hours a day.
Right.
So, and everyone's like, wow, you're a slave driver. Funny enough, this guy came, well, he kind of came to me. This guy, yeah, so I give his family a great living out in it's either India or Pakistan, I can't remember his place. It is a guy. You can use that, and it's a great resource. And so I'd absolutely use something like that. With regards to salespeople and data entry people are not the same person. And if you hire someone on that same basis, they will either leave because all they want to do is get on the phone, and if so, send them to me because I'll hire them, or they won't make the calls because all they want to do is data admin. So don't put two completely conflicting roles together. Try and offshore it. Grab me afterwards, I can talk to you about how to offshore, because I can literally, again, I've got a step-by-step guide on how to offshore and whatever else. I'm happy to share that with you. But I wouldn't hire those two decisions together, and that's probably why it's not worked out.
I think it's very hard to try and find that person because I see myself as very good at sales, but I like the admin, but trying to do both is very hard, and you almost feel like you're letting yourself down in the admin and you get wound up, but then you then just focus on the sales, one always has to give, so I don't think you're ever going to find someone who can do that.
Yeah, because you or the business owner's got much more desire to get it done, getting an employee.
Exactly, like the salesperson needs to be very hungry and very rewarded as well.
There's a great website called 16 Personalities, and anyone who's hires for their team, put the people through it. It's free, and it's a test online, and it will give you a breakdown of their strengths and weaknesses. And all the different characters will come through, and it's like there's the DISC assessment and the Insights assessment. We use Insights, but that's a free version of a psychometric profiling, personality profiling test, which will tell you if that person is a admin person, salesperson, and if you read between the lines, you can see what exactly the type of people they want. But 16 personalities, I think it's 16personalities.com.
There's one that you can put like people's LinkedIn profiles in, isn't there? And it'll tell you what personality they have.
Oh, really? I've not seen that.
Pretty,
I know the social selling index.
It's really expensive, like the actual, but they do. I think you get like one free go. But it's amazing how accurate it is. It's pretty crazy.
I've not seen that. I mean,
it is a disc, like you said. Like there is a disc involved. It was pretty impressive. I can't remember what it's called. So.
Any other questions? I mean, guys, I appreciate hiring's difficult, so please don't feel like you can't ask. Anybody who want to ask any other questions?
How do you fire when your team's at capacity? So if you lose, they might not be doing very much work, but the person that you need to fire, if you lose them, then obviously that work capacity has to be taken on by somebody else. So how do you, because finding good talent is really difficult.
Tell me that.
Yeah, exactly. We all know it's like number one on the list of things that's almost impossible, finding somebody that actually wants to work. And so what do you do when you start them on something and they're not doing very much, but what they are doing is actually fairly useful? But really you need them to obviously be doing what you've tasked them to do.
So you're probably going to know the answer to this already, but you can either fire them and take the bullet and take it on yourself if you've got capacity yourself, or what I would probably do is, if you've got capital enough to do it, is I would bring somebody else on in order to take the flak, and I'd performance manage the hell out of that person. And the way that I would do that is by literally using a whiteboard and having all their tasks that they need to do in a day, or sending it through to an email, and then just having that, and then having them email you back at the end of the day, and just literally getting to the point where they probably walk into our office and go, I quit, or you go sit down with them after a week and go, look, you're not pulling your weight, you're not doing this, this, and this. Let's just call it a day. When you fire people, you put them out of their misery, and also your own misery. They're taking you along that path. You're not taking them. You want them to succeed more than they want to succeed, clearly. But that's with every person you bring on. So it's not about being the Alan Sugar and the asshole, as I put it, and going in there, you're actually putting these people out of misery. So if you can hire someone else, because you're going to get rid of this person regardless, and even if they turn their performance around, that is only because their circumstances will have slightly changed and they want to save their job, rather than it's inbuilt within their DNA. So you can't save people. If it's attitudinal based, just get rid of them, because you will probably have more stress dealing with that person right now than you will actually taking on their job. And you'll probably find that the rest of your team will come together and take on the flak, because it will also be damaging your business. Because whatever they get away with, your top performer will want to leave and will be phoning someone like me because the boss lets John do nothing all day, I'm pulling all the flak and I get paid the same as John or whatever else. So my advice would be walk in tomorrow morning, put them on performance management, have them gone by Friday. But I'm an asshole. Anything else?
Don't work for you.
Yeah, don't work for me. And I literally tell my people this is how I'm like, because I know what I'm like with the guys, people I bring in. So I'm really clear and honest with them, and I share this with them. I will only hire people that I can fire. I'm looking at a marketing guy right now. Just sat down with him. We've gone through what I regard as the purpose, his goals, his expectations, where he wants to be, and I shared that with him. I said I'll only hire you if I can fire you. And his face dropped when I said that, and then I gave him the positioning why, and I build the right type of culture within my business. I'm not saying that my culture is right for anyone else in here, but it means that I get the right people into the business, and I fortunately no longer have the problem that you have, where I'm just literally pulling my hair out with people that just will not do anything in the business and expect me to pay them a basic salary.